Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to your Speedway Sessions. I am your host tonight, the voice of Mansfield Speedway, Robbie DeVore, and I am joined on the other couch here by Leon Feinstein. What up, Leon?
Good to be back. Let's get it done.
Look good, kind of handsome, smell kind of funny.
Yeah, I think a little bit.
A little bit.
So
It's
do
been a
you.
while.
So do you.
Oh, thanks.
So do you.
Yep, I was standing next to a campfire a couple days ago, so and I still haven't washed my butt crack. Tonight on the couch, we have the owner of Prosser Racing. Ryan Prosser is going to be joining us. He's with us tonight. How you doing, Mr. Prosser?
Doing well. Looking forward to it.
Awesome to get the chance to talk to him again, and joining us, the featured guest tonight in the Vance Castone Fremont Fence Crown Battery DTX Detail Racers realm, Superior Tank and Trailer from Plano, Texas, number 19 machine, TJ Michael.
It's good to be on, guys. Let's have some fun.
Let's have a good, wacky old time. Now, the first thing I noticed about you, hey, you're a little too good looking to be a sprint car driver. How the hell did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know. I appreciate the compliment, but the sprint car driving thing kind of just came from my dad and growing up around it and being really good friends with Bobby Clark and, owning engines of his and cars of his. And, I didn't really have a choice on the racing thing. I was, 4 years old, and they decided, hey, this kid who can barely walk and talk, we're going to stick him in a go-kart and let him race. So I actually went to a go-kart race not too long ago and saw these 4-year-olds racing and thought to myself, wow, I cannot believe they let people do this shit. But hey, that's how it started for me. And the good-looking part, I don't know. That's I guess
Good genetics.
My mom, my dad did well, I guess.
Yeah. I would say so. You hit the genetic lottery, buddy. Tall, not so dark, but handsome as hell. Mr. Prosser. What? Was that a good joke?
Yeah, I think I know.
You think people are going to like that, Leon?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, Mr. Prosser, you've been working with TJ for quite some time now, huh?
Couple years. Just be start of year 3.
Start of year 3. Is he your favorite driver? Is he what we got?
I'd say he's my favorite. He's still around, ain't he?
He's still around. Now, that's actually a good little talking point there. So when it comes down to hiring and firing a race car driver, do you actually have to sit them down and say, hey, it's not working anymore, bud? It's just not, we're not clicking.
We've had that. It does happen. It's never fun to do. You never, you create relationships when you do this stuff, and not just with drivers, but with the families that go along with those drivers. And, it's kind of a part of yourself when you're doing this, with anybody. So for me, it's still a family deal, and you try to make sure that you're part of that. It's feeling the things that he's feeling, and trying to build and continue to move forward.
So how does that work? Have you ever had a conversation where like, hey, I got to counsel you on something. We're going to put this in writing somewhere because you took out the uke tire on your hot lap or anything like that. How does that work? Is there a demerit program? Does he get little gold stars?
Not for me. No, I don't think we've ever had that. But, we have talks, and, TJ comes down at least once a week, and, we kind of go over, what went on the week before and what we did wrong and what we did right, and trying to, capitalize on the things that we are doing right and correct the things that we're doing wrong. I think it's just a big part of making sure we continue to build as a team and work forward to, represent ourselves and our brands the best way that we can.
So a small team, right?
Yep.
Relatively, you would admit?
Oh, yeah,
team?
still a very small family-owned team. For the most part, we have a lot of good partners that you just rattled off there. We've got a new one, actually, just came on. That's actually going to be a 2-part deal, I do believe, when it's all said and done, with a Shingle Monkey right here out of Ashland and Medina area. And we also have it's called Hustled, which is high-speed, low-drag. It's athletic wear. So we're looking forward to representing those brands on top of all of our other partners this year. Guess that's about it, yeah. But we don't really have a merit system, back to what you originally said there. But, as bad things happen, we talk about them, we move forward, and you try to, make sure we don't make those mistakes again. I think that's where I was kind of going with that more than anything.
No, and now when you first got together, who reached out to who? Were you the scout and you were like, hey, TJ, I got an opportunity for you? Or was he in your DMs being like, I need a race car?
So the funny part of this is TJ was still running his own car at the time. First time probably me and him ever really talked at all was actually sitting at the bar at Frickers. I was up there dropping off a race car or something like that, just happened to go into Frickers, and he was sitting at the bar, and we were sitting there, and we started talking, and that was the whole bicycle incident, too. That was right when the whole
Aaron Reitzel
bicycle thing happened. And
TJ, if you wouldn't mind elaborating, what is the bicycle incident?
Well, Aaron Reitzel, when he was running the Roth 83 car, he and Wayne Johnson had gotten into it on like a Friday night. It was a 2-day outlaw show deal. And on Saturday, I guess they were at the drivers meeting and Wayne Johnson was on his, like moped thing and Aaron Reitzel was on his bicycle and he had like rode by and I guess either smarted off or something. And Wayne Johnson just punched him in the face and Aaron, was on a mountain bike and tried to like throw it at him. So
I like that.
yeah,
Weapon of opportunity, the Huffy.
you got what you got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how that started. And when how things, social media and motorsports, when it happens, it gets on Facebook and shit. An hour later, you got
Everybody.
2 million views and stuff, and we're all just like, oh, did you see this? Did you see this? So that's how that situation was.
Oh, hell yeah. So I want to now turn it on to you. Have you always been someone have you ever had your own car that you ran like a 410 Sprint?
Yeah, actually, this is the first time I've drove for somebody else full time. So we had our own car for I want to say like 12 years, 11 years. And I enjoyed it. It was great. It was tough. It was obviously because my dad's so far away and he's in Texas and I'm up here. It was a lot of work. Like I worked for my dad's business and I was running his race team and I liked racing for my dad. It was the running the race team part that I just got tired of. It was the hiring and firing. It was it's a full-time job in itself and I want my dad works extremely hard and I want him to be able to enjoy and someday hopefully retire. And, it just got to a point where I was like, we talked and I was like, hey, I'm tired of running this race team like this. Like this is a lot of work and I know it costs him a lot of money. I'm like, you've provided me plenty of opportunities already. I'm like, I want to go out. I'd prefer to take my sponsors and, maybe some of our equipment and go out and race for somebody else to where I can not have to be at the shop 7 days a week, not have to hire and fire people, not have to worry about everything because it was just, there wasn't enough hours in the day to do it the right way. And, it's not a hidden secret that the price of stuff just keeps going up, right? So I went out on a limb and I decided, you know what, I'm going to make it known that I'm going to shut our team down and I'm going to, pursue a ride. So back to your question about who reached out to who, I mean, I wanted to go race and I wanted to race with good people. I think that the people part of it was the biggest thing for me. And, what I did is I looked at all the rides in the area, right? I wrote them down on paper and I'm like, pros and cons. And I broke it down and, I reached out and met a couple people and it wasn't really my vibe. It was kind of like, hey, well, how much money can you bring to the table? Which it's no secret in racing. It takes money to go race. And I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with, working hard to provide money for a race team. But the first time, I reached out to Ryan a couple times and I was kind of pushing like, hey, let's have a sit down meeting and see what we can do for each other. Like help me help you. And if it works out, maybe it works out. And I met him and his wife at a restaurant in Fremont. I think they were either dropping a car off in that area or an engine to Kistler. And we sat down and the first time we sat down, I was like, I could tell they're good people. Right. And I think that you got to enjoy the people you're around while you're racing because it's not always fun, right? It's hard work. It's, you lose more than you win. And if you're not around people that are positive and good people, it just makes it even worse. And I met with them the first time and I was like, that was the first time I had met with 2 or 3 teams before that. And it was the first meeting I had where I was like, all right, like I could race with these people. Like, so I think that, I don't know if they were skeptical or not, but I was kind of like, you have to be a little bit pushy and aggressive about it. And I was, I wanted to let them know that I wanted to race for them. So, it worked out. It took a little bit longer to, get going. But, I think it was a great decision on my end on, making sure it was the right fit. Cause most of the time, it can be 6 months and you're like, all right, I'm done with this, but it was a good fit.
Yeah, it seems like it was. Seems like you guys have a pretty good relationship. And Ryan, like in that moment when he was coming to meet with you, trying to drive one of your whips. Were you in the market for someone, or did you have to fire somebody, or what was going on there?
So at the so I believe at the close of that season, I'd had a driver and he kind of stepped back and went a different direction, and I was in between. I'd had a couple of drivers in the car that year, and Brandon Spithaler was one of them, and then we had Trey Jacobs drove for me a couple times, and a couple of the guys that was right there, and just we were looking for somebody and trying to figure out what we wanted to do moving forward. And so, you take every opportunity to talk to people as much as you can, because you never know what's going to lead out of the next thing, So, we took the meeting with TJ, and at the time, there was two guys, barely, we were kind of tossing back and forth. And eventually it come down to, where did you feel like was the best thing for you and moving forward as a team? And, TJ kind of checks all the boxes of what you're looking for. Beyond, money side of things or whatever, the sponsorship stuff. I don't even know, really, we didn't even really talk about sponsorships the whole first time that, we sat down. I'm like, hey, man, like, we really, outside of that one incident, we sat at the bar, there was never really a time that we discussed money, or we really had time to sit down and, like, just be us. Who are you? Where'd you come from? What's going on? Like, where are you at in life? What are you looking for? What's moving forward? Because some people just don't fit. And you look at it and go, man, he just wants to party and he wants to do stuff. I don't want nothing to do with that. TJ's business. When it comes down to it, TJ's business, and that's what it means. And, he's all in, he's at the gym all the time working out, to make sure that he's ready to go, to be prepared. And, that's something that, me and him have talked a lot about, especially over the last 2 weeks, is just, being prepared and, putting ourselves in the right position at the right times. And, that meeting was that same thing. It was just being prepared, and it was the right place at the right time, and just kind of putting everything together for both of us. And it's been good. And, he's went through a lot in the last, 2 years here with this house burning down, with the passing of Big Black. Lots of little things, that have went on. There's a lot of changes in his life that have happened over the last, 2 years. So I've been glad to be part of that, to help him move through some of those things, or to be on this side of it, to try to take care of the racing side, so that he doesn't have to worry about those things, so he can focus on his family and focus on the people that, need him and at those times. I think that's big for a driver, to be able to have something like that, to be able to keep their minds clean and stay into the racing stuff more than, worrying about, tires got to get done this week, and man, we got valves to run, and we got to get this done, and that motor's got to go over here, and we need to get rear ends over to there. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that most people have no clue about until it gets time, to get your hands dirty and get into it. So
yeah,
definitely something, that I think worked out well for both of us.
Yeah. Why did you pick him?
Why?
Yeah.
For those reasons. I mean, he checks all the boxes. He comes in, he's positive all the time. There's very few nights that he's extremely mad, but even when he's mad, we've kind of understood each other to the point of, give me 5 minutes and we'll go back to the grind. Like, let's just get back after it. And let's get, steady. And that's what, when you talk to TJ for, any amount of time, you're like, dude, he's just a honest dude. He's a real guy. And that's what you want. You're who you represent. And, me and you had this conversation about my son out here at the, at the car show. It's the same thing. It all comes down to the people that you're representing and what are you trying to build. Mm-hmm. And it has nothing to do with him being pretty, because, we talk about that all the time. He's the pretty one, but it all comes down to it. It's all joking and all fun, but it's serious. And, being ready and being prepared. So that's what we're at. That's what we're about.
Does it piss you off when people call you handsome, or do you kind of like it?
Truthfully, it really doesn't. It doesn't do anything for me. It
doesn't
doesn't bother me. It's a compliment, I appreciate it. It doesn't get me excited by any means. It's just,
yeah,
I'm more worried about, who I am as a person rather than what I look like. So, yeah, no, I mean,
and the pretty's not skin deep on him. I'll give him that, man. I'll give him that. It's a solid thing. It's definitely not a poke at him at all.
Yeah, so he had mentioned, and I did not know any of this, that you had some trials and tribulations when you first got hooked up with Mr. Prosser over here. Does any of that add pressure to you in your performance, and does it affect you, or are you pretty good at like locking in and just blocking everything out?
I don't know. I think racing can be kind of an escape in a sense. Like, for example, last May, my best friend who had moved up here to Ohio, and I'd kind of got him involved. I mean, I did get him involved in racing, and we had raced together for years with my own car and lived together, and he suddenly passed away on a Friday last year in a car accident. And, it was just a hectic day. Like, you get the phone call from his wife, like, this is what happened. You go to the house, and, me and Ryan are tight. Like, we talk every day, and, I'm telling him, like, hey, we're supposed to race tonight. It's a points race. And I let him know, like, hey, this is what happened. And he, one thing that has really grown my respect for him and his family is, I truly think they have my best interest in mind, right? Like, he was like, hey, obviously this is going to be a lot on you. It's going to weigh on you. I don't know if you don't want to go race tonight, let me know, right? Please let me know. And I'm like, I don't want to make a decision right now because, mine's racing and stuff like that. And, I got to their house and, we sat down. We were there for hours. I was talking to his kids. It was a terrible day, horrible day. And his daughter, who, she had gone to the race with us all the time. She said she wanted to go to the races. So I was like, you know what? I texted him. I was like, hey, I'm going to try, like, let's race tonight. That's what he'd want us to do. It's my escape. And I needed that day. Like, I really did, because it was hard. It was very, very hard. And just going there and being around the people, man, the people in racing is what makes racing. And being at the racetrack that day and strapping in, and it's just like, it's an escape, right? It was, a couple hours of where my mind was not on, what had happened. So, sometimes, situations in life between work, relationships and stuff like that, I take racing very serious. So I draw a line in the sand. As soon as we walk into that gate, it's, I'm there for a reason, right? I'm there to race, and I'm there to represent people who are giving our race team a lot of money, and Ryan and his wife, who sacrifice a lot of things for us to go race. So it'd be doing them a disservice if I couldn't, put that behind me and go race. So, I mean, I'm a pretty emotional man as it is, but when it comes to business being business, I can go to the racetrack and definitely turn that off for a little bit. So yeah, I think it was good. It was good that we went and did that day.
Yeah. Now, as an owner's perspective here, you're a little bit older than he is. You have a little bit more repetitions with life and how it can beat you down like that. And so, this supple young man right here, he was going through something.
Absolutely.
And then you had to come in there and still be professional. You still got racing to do. How hard is it? Does it even cross your mind to replace him in the moment for the night, or do you just call it for the day? When we ain't racing?
Never once would that ever enter my mind. Not one single time would that be something that I would ever think about. Like I said, this is a lot more than that. Like, this is, it's family. When you do this thing, it becomes family, and that's exactly what it is. And when he's hurting, I'm hurting, because I know what that meant. I know where he was at with that. We've all been in that situation or a similar situation to that. And you're like, I get it. It was hard to go there and to do that. The only thing you can do is respect what everybody is doing around you. And, because of the years I've got, or whatever you want to say, that it's, I looked at it that way, and I left it in his court. I'm like, whatever you need, I just need you to tell me, because I don't want to do something that you're not ready for, and, kind of move forward from it. And he said the right thing, which is, this is what Glenn would want. So this is what we're going to do. And, that's what we went to do. And, just try to give as much, support as you can through any of that stuff. And I think that's kind of where we ended up with, where we're at. And, yeah.
Yeah, it speaks to the resiliency of all you crazy race car drivers. You just strap in and you go get it. It's pretty cool to see. Why do you do it? What is it about it that does it for you?
That's a pretty tough question. Why do I do it? It's what I've done my entire life, right? So I've been racing. I'm 28. I've been racing since I was 4, and I've raced a lot. And I think why I do it is when you I'm a competitor. Like, I grew up playing all basketball, baseball, football, and I've always raced. And I just like to win, man. That's why I do it. Like, I wouldn't know what to do in my life without having something competitive to push me, right? Like, I go to the gym and I get on a treadmill or I'm lifting weights, and I treat every single day like, hey, how is this going to make me win more races? How is this going to make our race team better? And it's the competitiveness that really is why I do it. It's thrilling, and it's so. I think that in life you have to do hard things, and racing, and especially 410 sprint car racing at this level, it's hard, right? It takes everything you got. It takes the mental, it takes the physical, and I do it because, you know, it's so rewarding when it goes right, right? You feel so good when everything goes your way, right? And, you know, it's not the good nights that do that. It's the challenging ones where you're learning and learning and learning, and it's like, and when it all comes together, it's like, damn, this feels great. So I think I just do it because it's hard, it's challenging, and it's all I've ever done, man. It's in me. It's a very bad drug.
Do you have that same attitude and mentality with other elementary things, other medial things? Like, let's say you got a wild hair up your butt and you started watching crocheting videos or something like that. Will you go all in on knitting or some hobby or something like that, or is it just racing specifically?
I'm not gonna say everything, but when I started really getting into like working out, it was definitely kind of the same thing. It was like, you know, I run in the mornings, I go lift weights in the afternoons. I like to better myself. I like I read books. I like to do things that make me better. You know, I think that being stagnant is the worst thing that you can do as a person. I try to make, I think you got to do hard things. And I think things like working out and reading books, it's like, it's rewarding. In the end, you're not going to get worse doing it, right? So I wouldn't say I jump into everything like that, but when I find something that I really like or something I feel like is making me better, then I'll jump all in.
What's one thing or a few things that have helped you develop? Like, have you picked up any sort of skill that you've applied to racing? Like, say you read books. I read books to try to announce better. You know what I mean? I do it and I read it out loud. Do you do anything with racing? Any exercise or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, on the mental side of things, I read books of, you know, a big thing that I implemented into our race team was I've read books of, like, you know, building a team and being positive. I'm not always the most positive person, and it's definitely one of those things where, you know, we've come together and we have very honest discussions, which is what is needed. And I think some of the books we've read, or the books I've read, or the podcasts we've listened to, things that we've taken from that to make our race team better. And it's just, you know, I think a lot of it is I've read in books, you know, things about being positive and, you know, leading by example, like showing them that you're willing to work hard so they'll work hard as well, rather than just, hey, you need to work harder when you're not doing anything, right? Yeah. It's very easy to do that. So, yeah, I think that, and then, like, the fitness aspect of it is, like, you know, I try to implicate the working out to, like, racing stuff. Like, for example, yesterday, me and another driver, Chris Andrews, he bought all this equipment that Pit Fit has in Indianapolis, and it's like a skier, rower, assault bike, and a couple times a week he'll invite me over, and, you know, we'll do a high-intensity interval training workout, and it's supposed to be mocking, like, your heart rate with racing stuff. So I think some of those things do. I think that, I mean, I just, a lot of the things I do, I think, you know, I'm trying to become a better person, right? And to become a better person, you can help other people become better people. And with, you know, our race team, we are constantly sending things back and forth about, you know, how we can do a better job from things we've heard, or, you know, quotes we've seen on Instagram or Facebook or something like that. But I think in the whole, I think that it definitely helps us for sure.
Yeah. Does that rub off on you at all? Does he?
Absolutely.
I figured it would.
Absolutely. That's something that we talk about. You know, we started, you know, I'd say about halfway through the year last year, we started really talking about it and trying to implement that into every week and just trying to remain positive through all this stuff, because this is nothing that won't beat you down like racing does.
Oh my gosh, you ain't
kidding. Know, and it's from every aspect of this sport. You know, everybody's trying to put you down in some way, shape, or form. It's tough to get things to kind of go back the other way and you know, think that the bad nights, you still got to come up with a positive side of it. and pull those positives so that you can build the positives and stash those negatives away. And, you know, it's something we've worked a lot on, you know, and I think it's helped us, you know, most of last year. It seemed like it did. And performance-wise, I think we definitely are much better than what we was the first year. And, you know, we're excited about moving into next year. You know, we got a new car we're building this year and a couple other things going on that, you know, try to better our team. And it's all stuff that we sit down and we talk about, you know, trying to figure out ways to move our program forward for each other. You know, whatever helps me helps him, and what helps him, you know, helps me. So it's all about doing those things repetitively, you know, those constant little changes, and you stay on those constant positive changes.
Yeah.
So,
that new race car you're building,
yeah,
it's going to be as flashy as ever. What are we doing with this one? Can you reveal?
It'll be as flashy as ever. You know that.
Yeah. So to the people that don't know Mr. Prosser, he's always got some of the flashiest race cars, neons. It looks like it glows in the dark. I absolutely love it. Are you changing the colors at all? Are we going with the same color scheme?
You're still going to have pretty much the same color scheme. There's going to be a few small details probably changed up with some things, but it'll still be nice and flashy. You'll be able to see it from the backside, and all the sponsor names will still jump out. And we like cars that are flashy. They pick up more on the camera and the, you know, when they're recording stuff. Usually you get on there a little more often. So.
No, exact. And we've talked about this ad nauseum. Like the wrap, the branding, the sponsorships, that matters.
Yep,
all
absolutely.
of that matters. It might be the most important piece. I think his name's Leighton Wagner. Do you know Leighton?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good-looking hot rod. You know what I mean?
Can see it.
Yeah.
Got to be able to see it, man.
Got to be able to see it. So, yeah.
Even when you're not on camera, they got to be able to see it. So, like his dad's watching, you know, from Texas, you know, when he's watching, even if you're not up in the front, you're leading, you want to be able to at least catch a glimpse of it. Okay, did he move up? Where's he at? You know, when you
He can
have
pick
those
you out of a
things-
pile.
Exactly. You know, that's the whole idea. You know, coming down the straightaway, you want to be able to tell that that's your race car. So that's the whole plan of, or whole point of being flashy. So,
Yeah. What is your most prized moment in a sprint car, a race car? Do you have one moment that sticks out to you that was like, dang, I was on fire that night. I lapped the field, set a track record. What was it?
Yeah, probably the night I won the Rick Ferkel Classic at Waynesfield. It was a cool moment. The year before, it was like the anniversary of. Well, no, it was my grandpa had passed away like 6 months before that, and he had gone to he lived in Ohio, so he had been to all of my races basically my entire life, and he had passed away, and 6 months later, on his birthday, we went to Waynesfield and we dominated. Won quick time, won the heat race, started on the pole and led every lap.
drove
and
away.
It was it was meant to be. It was one of those moments where I was like, everything aligned. So that was probably the biggest one for me, was that night. It was, it seemed effortless that night, and it's when that happens, it's a great feeling because it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Good. That nice sentimental moment that's seared into your brain forever. For you, Mr. Prosser, let's go on the complete adjunct of that, the adverse of that. Has there ever been a moment or a time period where you were about to give up? Was there ever any time where you thought about closing up shop?
Man, you have to. This stuff is crazy hard. It's crazy hard. And, you know, there's times that you go into the off season, you didn't have a driver, and you're like, man, is this, you know, you might have lost a sponsor or something like that, and you're going, man, what am I doing? You know, is this really what I want to do? And, you know, you give me a month. I've went through a month spurt where I've went, man, I just don't know. Thankfully, that's never been the case. You know, you always come back and you're like, I already went ahead and got the motor sent out, and everything's already, you know, getting taken care of. It's up at Kistler's, and you're just, you know, you're waiting for stuff to come in. You're like, it'll all be okay. It'll work out, you know. And you do. You know, it's just the way it works. So I haven't had that a little while now. I ain't had to worry about any of that stuff. So it's been nice.
We're making progress.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
I've always
Absolutely.
wanted to talk to like an owner-driver combo because do you know who John Shoebrooks is?
Yeah.
I'm sure you do. Yeah, the A79 down there, and he's had like a slew of drivers. Ashley Tackett was in there, Cole Duncan, Wimmer. Yeah, Brandon Wimmer. And I've always wanted to see like how intimate of a relationship it was between the owner of the car and the driver of the car.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you relate that to? Is it father-son dynamic? Is it bro? Is it boss?
No.
Subordinate?
No,
Family?
It's definitely more bro than it is anything. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not about that. You know, we're not. there's not a hierarchy when it comes down to it. You know, it's about working together and building together. And I think that's something that we both kind of instilled back and forth. You know, that's what it's supposed to be. You know, you're supposed to work together as a team, not as individuals to move things. So.
You mean to tell me there's no HR department at the Prosser Racing facility?
Look, I got to say my wife is, but that's just because we're on here and I got to say that. So, but no, not at all. You know, when the buck stops, it all comes down to me. But at the same time, you know, it's things that you work up to. You're supposed to be leaders, not bosses. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, it's more like a teammate relationship, truthfully, because, you know, my thing is, like, you know, it's about being aware and taking accountability. There's going to be nights where he misses a setup on the car, and there's going to be more nights that I mess up driving. And as long as we can look at each other in the eyes and be honest with each other, and be like, hey, you know, I messed up tonight, you know, how can we get better from this? Then, you know, things can work out. But the moment you start pointing fingers and it's your fault, it's my fault, it's like,
you lost.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere. So I think we've done a pretty good job, especially as we've built, at making that better. Like, even when we have bad nights, you know, nobody wants those nights, but we'll sit down and we'll be like, hey, what we did didn't work. Why didn't it work? Was it because I wasn't comfortable with what it was, or was it just, you know, we were not in the racetrack? But we figure it out, and then we slice it up and then put it in the notes and then move on. So I think it's just a teammate relationship, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be a nice little dynamic to have. Just go over there, ripping around, driving his car. You've been, you're down there in Texas. How often do you race down there?
Ooh.
Is it often, or is it?
No. It's been a while since I've raced down there. I used to, when I had my own car, I would go down there in like end of February, beginning of March, and run all the World of Outlaw shows at Cotton Bowl, or now they go to Kennedale and stuff like that, which I'd love to do that again sometime. It's the dynamic of driving. You know, all of our stuff has always been based in Ohio. To drive that far to go race just really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I've raced down there maybe 25 times on a dirt track total. So I raced more last year in Ohio than I have down there ever in Texas. So
what's the biggest difference? Is it the culture, race fans, the dirt, the driver attitude, the crews? What's different about it?
The biggest difference is I think we're pretty spoiled up here with like the efficiency of shows. Like down there, they have it's like IMCA stuff, so it's modified sport mods, stock cars, hobby stock. You know, they got 7 divisions. They start late and they race until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, I don't even enjoy going to watch the races down there because I don't want to be at the racetrack until 2 or 3 in the morning. And there's so many times I went to the dirt races as a kid and we'd leave before the features start because I'm 10 years old and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. So the biggest thing is the efficiency. Like up here, most of the racetracks we race at, we don't run 7 classes and we get done at a decent hour. The dirt's different because it's warmer down there. It's typically slick and, you know, rubbers up a bunch in the summertime because it's 110 degrees. But the race fans up here are a lot more passionate as well, too. Like, I think down there, their goal to make a successful racetrack is getting as many cars in the pits as possible, and they pay for the racetrack through the back gate. Mm-hmm. Where here, we would rather have, you know, an efficient show, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 classes, get done and have a ton of people in the stands and make it on the back gate and on the front gate is the biggest difference. Like, there's not a lot of fans down there. And in the area, Dallas, Fort Worth, there's a lot of things to do. Up here, there isn't as many things to do, but the efficiency of the shows is the biggest difference, I would say.
Do you think that's what sets us apart? Us and Pennsylvania, I think, are the best in the nation. Is it because we just know how to run the show?
I think so. And I would say that would be, I think promoters around here are very aware. Like, they're very, you know, they work hard and they are aware that people don't want to be here all night. You know, start at 6:30 or 7 and be done by 10. Like that is, you know, it's efficient for fans, right? Nobody wants to drag their kids to the racetrack, spend a lot of money, and then be there for 8 hours and get home at 2:30 in the morning. Like, I think the promoters here, they get it. They get that people don't want to be there all night. So I think that's what sets us apart for sure. I think also the fans, man, they're passionate. Like, I didn't even realize it when I moved to Fremont from Texas when I was like 15, and I'd go to Walmart on a Sunday after racing, and you go in there and grocery shop, and they're like, "Man, you sucked last night." It's like, I don't even know who I am. You know, you live amongst the fans, which is cool, and it's really cool when you do good, but it's not that fun when you know things aren't going well. But the fans make it too. They're passionate. They show up. They buy merchandise, and without them, we don't have racetracks. So.
Who cares if there's nobody watching you?
Yeah,
That's right.
It's not worth anything.
And I want to speak to that a little bit as well, how promoters trying to get us out early. Mansfield has been, I mean, we've been struggling. You've known, it's just everything seems to be leaving, dwindling, rusting. If we bring in a racetrack and we run until 2 o'clock in the morning, the fans that are a little bit rambunctious won't have the opportunity to go out to the bars. They won't be able to go out and explore. They won't be able to go do the attractions that the city has to offer because they're sitting in the freaking grandstands. Yep. You know, we're going back to the campsite. So you have to put on an expeditious show. And I think that we got a good crew here, and I think that we're going to be able to do that quite well, if I'm being honest. But you are watching Speedway Sessions. We are on the couch here. We got TJ Michael and Mr. Ryan Prosser. We'll be back in just 1 second after a word from probably me.
All right, we are at the Richland County Fairgrounds for the Business Expo here in Mansfield. One thing I wanted to remind you guys, we got a lot of events coming up very quickly. Now, you guys have been all watching the revival of the Mansfield Speedway, and it's about time that we have action not only on track, but in the backyard on the motocross course. We got our first event coming up April 11th, and then the very next day on a Sunday, go to church, come out, bring the kids, have a hot dog, and watch some dirt cars on the Mansfield Speedway for the first time in 7 years for our Test and Tune. $5 a ticket, you can't beat the prices. And then also, it's going to get you primed and ready to go for our Comeback Classic on May 2nd, where we have super late models, 410 sprint cars, and modifieds to kick off the revival season. Get your tickets now at thespeedway.com. Click on the events tab, buy a ticket, and take your backsides trackside. We'll see you at the racetrack.
Welcome back to Speedway Sessions. We got TJ Michael and Ryan Prosser on the couch tonight. Leon over here as well. So for our next segment, boys, I got a little bit of trivia for you, all right? Sound good?
Yep.
Here's what I'm going to do. Now, branding is the most important thing in racing. You know, we plaster stickers of logos all over everything, but something that's even more important to me is your nickname, your own personal brand, things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a nickname, and you have to tell me what driver it is attached to.
Got it.
Sound good?
Let's roll.
Are you very well versed in your racing history from all walks of life?
Pretty good, yeah.
Think so?
I'd say. We're about to find out, I guess.
Yeah, look at this guy over here thinking he's got it. All right, kicking things off with an easy one. The Intimidator.
Dale.
Dale.
Oh, D-E.
You got it. All right, moving over to the dirt side of things. Let's see if you get this one right. I don't even know if it's right either. Black Sunshine.
I feel like it's a late model.
It is a late model driver.
Is it Scott Bloomquist?
It is Scott Bloomquist.
Dale.
Got it. Young Money.
Kyle Larson.
That was an easy one. That was a softball, Leon. I lobbed it to him.
Just laid that one there.
Oh, here's a good one for you, buddy. Super Tex.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't have any idea about Super Tex.
Any idea? Leon, we got anything over here on this end?
No,
Yeah, I
I
didn't
still have a lot to learn.
Yeah, you're kind of dumb. AJ Foyt was the correct answer.
Ooh.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that.
Dang, I hadn't heard that one.
All right, let's go back to dirt because everybody knows dirt around here. The Big Cat.
Brad Sweet.
Brad Sweet. Awesome Bill from Dawsonville.
Oh,
Bill Elliott.
Yeah, you gotta. All right, here's one for you, Leon. I'm going to lob this one to you.
Must be a BMW guy.
BMW.
Something like that.
Rowdy.
Cletus McFarland?
Oh, my
fucking
God.
hell.
Idiots.
Kyle Busch.
Fucking-
Kyle Busch. Who
That's
said
a good
it?
one.
Look at this, TJ.
I should have known that.
You should have known that.
Fuck.
This guy's got a Kyle Busch diecast and a jacket at home, and he couldn't get it working.
It's
for
only
him.
because of the M&M livery. It really wasn't of anything else. And the number.
See, we go back.
I
It
know,
all circles
I
back.
know, I
The paint
know.
scheme matters. The rap
It
matters.
really does. It really
Branding.
Branding.
All about branding.
Drag racing. Got any drag racing enthusiasts in here?
I got one story
I
of
mean,
a drag racer.
I know some drag racers, but not really.
You got Brittany Force's number? Or Leah Pruitt?
Depends who's asked.
Yeah. We'll talk offline, Mr. TJ, all right? All right.
Knew it was too good to be true.
All right, I'm going to softball this one to you, Force.
John Force?
John Force, easy day. Big Daddy.
Chris Wyndham?
Don Pedrodome.
You're close. You're close. I'm going to give you another opportunity here. It is a Don.
It's Chris Wyndham's Big Daddy.
Don Garland.
Garland.
Yep. What about the Snake?
Is that Pedrodome?
That is Pedrodome.
There you go.
You got it. Let me do a couple more here just so we can clip this a little bit.
Jungle Jane, man. What are you talking about? Let's get into some other ones.
Who's Jungle Jane?
You know the best,
Oh, you
the
have to
best
look that one
nickname
up.
in sprint car, or the best nickname in motorsports has got to be Kyle Strickler.
Absolutely.
What is it for the people watching at home?
The high side tickler.
The high side tickler,
Yeah.
Mr. Stricker.
You know you'd like to yell that one tonight.
Yeah, I'll do it during the day. I
know
don't care.
you would.
I'll just
I
scream
think
it.
he'll be here this year.
He will.
Yeah.
100%.
Late models.
Yep.
Yeah.
He'll be here.
Yep. It's going to be a good time to have him, too. Wonder Boy.
That's a late model guy, too, right?
That is a NASCAR guy.
NASCAR guy.
Wonder Boy. Yeah, I don't know.
Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon.
Oh, look at me.
That's what it is.
I should have known that.
And finally, Smoke.
Tony Stewart.
Easy one. All right, that's going to conclude whatever the heck we call that segment in post-production. You got probably about 5, 6 of them, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Sound pretty good?
Yeah. About 90%.
Yeah.
About 90%. That's passing.
Pass the class.
Pass the class.
See.
As far as I'm concerned, with flying colors. All right, who is on? And now this is going to include any walk of racing, past, present. Sorry, the bill collector. I forgot to pay the card note. And that's just a logistical error. That's just a clerical error there, ladies and gentlemen. I got the money to do so.
Matt, he needs help. No.
No. Don't be saying
We'll
that.
get him start a GoFundMe for the guy.
All right. Of any racing class, all time, any series, who is on your Mount Rushmore for racing?
For me, it's gonna be Dale Earnhardt, Steve Kinzer, AJ Foyt,
Wow.
and Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson. Interesting. Gotta be. Yeah, that dude can wheel anything. Mr. Prosser, you're up next. Your Mount Rushmore.
I'm going to go with Dale Earnhardt.
Dale
'cause,
Earnhardt.
You know, how do you not go with the Intimidator?
You can't. I kind of look. I try to look like him.
Trying to imitate him.
You know what?
Just a little
I
bit,
told
little
him.
bit,
I
little
told him you looked like it. I
Like a
think it's-
Walmart version.
I am the imitator.
Imitator. You're an imitator. Holy fuck, we got it.
I'm going to stick with the dirt track guys, though, on the rest of it, though, because
Okay.
I'm going to say it's Steve Kinzer, Seamus Wendell, Jack Hodenshield. I mean, that's the names that just, you know, in this walk of life we have, that's
Yeah.
it, especially in this area, you know.
Yeah.
You're gonna put Jack Hodenshield over Donnie Schatz?
I would, but that's just me.
Shots fired.
I can't help it. You know, Dick, look, can't take nothing away from Don, but at the same time, I can't take it away from Jack either.
Jack definitely sold more T-shirts, but
Yeah, for sure.
Donnie's numbers are just, I mean,
They're astounding.
over 300 outlaw wins, 11 titles, Knoxville Nationals. I mean,
Yeah. No,
I mean, both of them are legends. Both of them are Hall of
Absolutely.
Famers, absolutely. So nobody's right
no
or
hate.
wrong,
No
but-
hate neither way.
No,
but
absolutely not. But Donnie Schatz is, and Donnie to do it between 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and I think this year. I mean, after the first time at Volusia, I think he's going to win some races this year too. And
I think he's got a good shot at it.
I'd like to see it. It's a legend. I respect it.
Oh, absolutely. You got to respect the man.
Yeah. Speaking of Hodenshields, I've been reaching out to them left and right. They live right up the road.
Yeah.
Ghosted the crap out of me. Sheldon, get back to me, please, buddy. I'd love to have you.
Well, Jack's been here a dozen times. I don't know why you have such a hard time getting a hold of him.
Man, well, I've been using Sheldon as the middleman to try to. Actually, let's edit that out. I don't want people to know that.
Got it.
if you
What's
wouldn't
where
mind.
we at? 58. Got
58
it. There.
minutes, yeah.
Yeah, you
Keeping
want
that
to
in
back that one
mind.
back.
5802.
All right, who's the most hated driver in motorsports?
Most hated used to be Kyle Busch. Right now, I think most people are hating David Gravel for whatever reason.
What did David Gravel do?
Win.
He wins a lot, and last year at Eldora, he got into it with Kyle Larson and said that Kyle, basically he didn't appreciate the way Kyle Larson raced, and Kyle Larson has a huge, following from the NASCAR fans who don't really understand the sprint car stuff. So, they boo David Gravel now, which I think nothing wrong with that. But David Gravel's he wins a lot now too, so it makes people not want to cheer for him. So I'd say he's probably the most hated at the moment.
Mr. Prosser?
I don't know where he went wrong. I think he's about right on it. I think everybody hates a winner. And that's kind of where it comes down to. You got just as many people booing Larson now as you do as cheering for the guy.
Yeah.
And he's probably one of the most talented guys that we've, ever had in our generation. Might be forever, but, at least in our generation, he's probably the most talented guy there is right now.
Yeah. I love watching him wheel it. And anything that he hops in, he's either going to wreck it or he's going to win the damn thing. And I love watching that about Kyle Larson. Leon, you want to do me a favor and fucking say something?
I was gonna ask, do you feel like NASCAR drivers or fans look down on dirt racing? And what do you have to say about that to them?
I think some do. I think there are some that have their pinkies up that are just too good for their own good for whatever reason. But for the most part, I mean, I've met a lot of guys that have come back from that side of things, and they're like, "Man, the racing is just so much better here." Like, man, you guys are nuts, but this is awesome. And, and we don't care that we got to take a shower when we're done. This is awesome. So, you get both walks of life when it comes to it. That isn't no hate towards anybody. That's just the way that it is.
Yeah.
Different strokes for different folks.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, some people just love NASCAR. I mean, you love what you love. I think that if more NASCAR fans came out to dirt races, they'd probably become dirt fans, though, because first off, the racing it's quick. 30 laps, it's 10, 15 minutes, sometimes less, sometimes more, but to sit in the grandstands and watch a NASCAR race for 500 miles, I mean,
It's hard.
I mean, it's hard to stay awake.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt the same way, and I'm not from the dirt racing background, so I don't know what would you say is the highlight of dirt racing for someone who knows nothing about it?
The highlight of it?
Something that stands out so much more than just the asphalt stuff.
After the races.
After the race?
Yeah, go after the races. But we're not separated. You can walk down and sit in the race car. We put kids in the race car all night long, and have them down there, and you talk and you interact, and all them things are right here. That's the difference.
Right.
We're in the pits and we're there, and my teams, we're there late at night. We won the trophy 2 years ago that they passed around to Fremont, for the last car there. We made sure we stayed up all night to get that trophy just because, and
drank a couple of drinks.
Just a
couple.
couple. Just a few. But, it is what it is, and you do what you got to do. But, it's the interaction of the fans. And it's that brand building that it's still grassroots and dirt racing. You'll see it right here. I guarantee you there ain't nobody going to pull any shorter than I pull to come here. And I bet I'm one of the last ones out of this pits every time we come here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
That's the thing I love about dirt racing the most. I've only been into this sport for about 2.5 years. The first race that I ever watched that was a dedicated dirt race was the first one I called at Path Valley Speedway Park in Pennsylvania. But it's vicious. Dirt racing is vicious, and it's so intimate. The drivers, the fans, everybody is so intertwined that it's just a great culture. And NASCAR does have that the same way in asphalt racing, but I don't know, man. It's just... with dirt racing, it's bang, 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 bang. Whereas in asphalt racing, to me, it's like you're watching an orchestra or someone painting something. It takes a while to develop, and it takes a long time to crescendo. Whereas it's literally like watching a Gatling gun go off in dirt racing.
Yeah.
And I think that vibes with a lot of people.
Yeah, it's personal, too. Like, how many other professional sports can you walk down and talk to the driver while they're, in between quarters, or for sports, or in between a heat race and a feature, you can walk down and be like, dude, how'd it feel? And the fans, they feel some sort of connection to you, right? And that's what makes the sport so great. And I think that's why it's growing the way it is. I think the direction it's heading, it's like, they're gonna have 5 or 6 races on Fox Sports 1 this year with High Limit. That's huge. That's huge. That's new, and I think the more people that watch it, I think that it's only going to make it better for everybody. I think that the more I think it's a hidden gem, dirt track racing is, and then you have like facilities like Mansfield here that like I mean, me and Ryan have watched every video that Matt's put out of every step of the way. And I tell people all the time that one thing I will say is there's no corners cut, right? It's flat out doing it the right way, right? And people will appreciate that and people will show up. And there's going to be trial and tribulations, but as long as there's people that want to give back to the sport of dirt racing and own racetracks and put on events and doing it the right way, once new fans come and see, you know, some new fans, sometimes it's the little things that want them, like, keep them coming back, whether it's the concession stands or the clean bathrooms or, you know.
The announcer.
Yeah.
You know, it's the announcer, you know. It could be the media guys. It could be all that stuff. You know, it's every little piece of the puzzle, 100%. And it's keeping that momentum going the entire time. It's what you guys are trying to do here, and it's obvious to, you know, everybody around you that pays attention that's what we're doing here. You know, it's bringing this back to life, and it's not just bringing it back to life to live. It's bringing it back loud and fast and to yell in your face about it. Like,
to grow and make it better. You guys. By what you guys are doing, you guys are going to make the other racetracks better. It puts pressure on them, because if they don't, between your guys' media content and the transparency of how much things cost and stuff like that, people like that. People want that. People want to know, and you guys are going to make everybody else around you better too, because they have. I mean, the standard's the standard, right? And when you raise the bar, they better raise the bar. Those fans aren't going to want to go to their racetrack, right? So it's only making everything around here better, in my opinion.
Yeah. What is it, a rising tide lifts all ships or something like that?
It's been kind of interesting. I don't know if you guys seen, but like ever since we kind of stumbled on, or at least Matt buying the racetrack, it seems like at least 10 other people have bought dirt tracks, and like YouTubers and stuff, more like Cletus McFarland's. I don't know if you've seen it, but I think it started somewhat kind of a movement, weirdly, you know, with people that have money, of course. But I guess another question I have is, do you think with the rising popularity of dirt racing, it could ever turn as corporate as NASCAR has?
I hope it keeps its grassroots type of thing. Like, I thought about this pretty deeply the other day when Big Game Motorsports announced that they were going to have 4 crew guys on the road. It's the first team that's done it. Everybody's always had 3 or 2 or in you know, I hope it doesn't get corporate like that, because I think obviously we need to be professional and represent the companies that support us. But also, I think what I like about dirt racing the most is we can be ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to put on some persona. Like, I feel like in NASCAR, you're interviewing robots. It's the Pennzoil 22 Penske Racing. You know, it's the same shit every single time. With dirt racing, it's like, it's raw. Yeah, right.
Very.
And as long as we can keep the raw, I don't care if it gets corporate. That's fine. The more money, the better. I mean, I think now we're seeing more people being able to race for a living, which is awesome. And, you know, we're getting more eyes on the sport, which is awesome. And the sport is awesome. So I hope along the way that we don't get to, like, you know, you can't cuss on TV,
right?
Like in NASCAR, yeah.
So we're gonna make that
evidently
clear that that's not what we're doing.
Very much so.
Very much
And
so.
I'm honestly anxious about it, to be honest.
You'll be all right.
Okay.
You'll be all right.
If you say so.
Yeah.
I think a good sample will be High Limit being on TV now. I think once we see what happens with them and how the crowd reacts and how corporations react to dirt racing, I think that's going to be a good model on how corporate it could become.
Yeah.
You know, or whether it's going to keep that raw status, like he mentioned.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, obviously, because it's on FS1, you can't have, you know, guys MFing all over TV and stuff like that. I get that, but it's got to be, you know, as long as we can keep our personalities, and show the raw trueness of the sport itself sells itself. Like, the action itself, especially at a big time sprint car race or a big time late model race, there's action everywhere, right? Fans are going to love it, right? They're going to want to come do it. And also, I think the good thing about it is you can get personal with the fans, and, you know, the t-shirt trailer stuff and the camping at the racetrack and all that stuff. Like, they kind of feel like they're a part of us, right? And I don't want to lose that connection by getting corporate. And also with corporate stuff, you know, maybe the cost of things go up some more because there's more money involved. But I think we can get to the Fox Sports 1 level on, like, a Supercross thing. Like, you know, making it, not every event, but some events on live television. And I think people will be all about it.
Yeah, same. I do too. Now, do you think broadcasting is a good or a bad thing for tracks itself?
I think I can see both sides of it. I think that it's good. Personally, I like it because, my dad owned a race car for 12 years and lived 1,000 miles away from where he'd race, and he was able to watch all the races. Sometimes I think not every show should be broadcasted because I'll be honest, there's times where there's races in the area that I could go watch when we're not racing, and why would I do that when I got Dirt Vision and Flow on my phone? And I personally think that like Dirt Vision and Flow should be giving some of their earnings to these racetracks, right? If I don't know how that works, honestly, but I seen that last year. Fremont did their own thing, right? Mm-hmm. And I at first I'm like, man, another thing that you got to buy. That sucks, but it's smart because at least the money you're losing by the fans not being there, you make back with the streaming. So I think if your product is good, the racing is good, and you have a nice facility, I think the true race fans are going to come no matter what. And if you have a big event, like I think it's hard on the weekly racetracks that run the same 3 divisions, 4 divisions, 5 divisions. I think it's hard on those, but if you have an event type of racetrack, people are going to want to come.
Yeah, I think we got it right here in Mansfield.
Speaking of facilities, have you ever raced here?
I have, yes.
There you go.
I had a huge hero zero moment here, or hero and zero moment here. I think it was the last time we were here. I ran the Dirt Track World Championship here, and then I ran an All-Star show here. I want to say in 2018.
Wow.
Won the dash, and I led the first 6 laps and crashed all by myself.
Dang.
Yeah, it was a great night. It was going to be a good night, I thought, but it was different, man. The surface then there was a hole getting into turn 3. I can remember that was just, you never get real scared when you're racing, but it's like, fuck, I'm about to. This is
Yeah.
Every single time you go through the hole in 3 here, it was like,
hold on,
pucker, and
Yeah.
it was dusty, and the inside wall made it real narrow. But I always thought the facility was like, it was way better than most, right? It was way nicer, and I don't know. I was super excited to see how Matt has bought this, and I think where racetracks really mess up when they're opening racetracks or reopening racetracks is they spend so much money on the concession stands, the grandstands, the scoreboard, the fencing, but if you have shitty dirt and you can't put on good races, nobody gives a fuck about the hot dog being good, right?
Right.
Yeah. And there's racetracks in the state that have reopened lately, and I've tried to explain to them, you have to put the money at a dirt track. You have to have good dirt, right? You have to have good clay, stuff you can work with. Like, it's going to take time to learn it, but if you don't have good clay and you can't put on good races, nobody gives a fuck that you have the best hot dog in the state of Ohio.
If you can't see the race cars on the racetrack, nobody gives 2 shits about what else is going on, and you won't have no fans in the stands after that.
Yeah, you know where we got it from, right? The dirt.
No, absolutely.
I actually just sold the Wagner, Noah Wagner. I just sold him my girlfriend's old car, and we traded. He had this sweet Jeff Gordon. It was his dad's, who had just recently passed away, and I have a bunch of old NASCAR jackets, like Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon, and he had this sweet leather Jeff Gordon jacket, and we did a little tradie for the car and the jacket.
That's cute.
He was telling me about like how excited he was that they got the clay there, and I mean, truthfully, over the last 2 years at Attica and Fremont with that clay, it's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
top notch.
It holds moisture. It slicks off. It doesn't eat tires. It's everything you could ask for in dirt. And the fact that, Matt was willing to go spend the money to do that the right way, I was completely sold on the fact that you can't cheap out on the dirt, man. The dirt is the product of the racing, and he got the dirt where he knew it was going to be good dirt, and I'm excited to see how it turns out.
Yeah, if you only knew the process.
Oh my
and
god.
oh my gosh.
We stayed up all night in a goddamn camper. I was messing around with this dude, but we were stressed.
We were so
I was stressed.
And even just leading up to the event of actually putting the clay on the racetrack, trying to find clay. This place has been notorious for having rocks in the surface.
Oh yeah.
And every single clay deposit that we would dig up and test, it's like, okay, it's good right there for a sliver.
You went out in the back where the motocross is right now. You was
Yeah.
a big ass hole. It was too sandy.
It was good. I mean, there was no big rocks, but it was sandy as hell.
I was so happy to see that you guys, because when
Didn't
they
do that.
announced that you guys were gonna, reopening, you were gonna use the dirt behind there. It's good dirt. You had a video out. I'm like, mother.
Yeah.
You can't. The field dirt doesn't work because there is pockets of it that is good and sticks together and clumps. But most of it, when it's field dirt, right? It instead of compacting together and building anything, it just crumbles, right? And clay, like the clay that you guys have and Attica and Fremont have, I mean, it builds something, right? It holds, it sticks together to where a lot of the racetracks, especially when the dirt kind of gets old, they try to like create a cushion or build it into it, and you don't have to build it into it if you have good clay. I mean, it just builds itself, which you guys made a hell of a decision on doing that, and I know how many truckloads that was and how much that shit costs. And
Yeah, I think like 600 trucks.
Yeah, over 600.
Yeah, the roads were lined up all the way.
Oh,
from
it was
on.
it was awesome.
It was a hero moment for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, we
man.
had seen actually, we were on 20 like driving, and I had seen 3 dump trucks like when it was happening. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is really happening. And then you see 3 more and 3 more and 3 more. It's like, damn, that that can't be cheap. And I think that was the best decision you could have made. I mean, everything else is just a bonus, but putting the right clay on the racetrack, you're gonna see good racing, and that's what fans want to see at the end of the day. I mean, the show is the show, and you put on a good race, people remember good races, and they come back, they want to support it. So
Yeah, and also, since you mentioned it, shout out to Mr. Wagner for hooking us up with that, because, like you said, it is a dirt track. If you don't have good dirt, it is absolutely screwed, and that's what this place has struggled with for the longest time. So I'm excited to see the surface. I'm excited to see how our track, how we change the characteristics of the racetrack is going to help put on a better show. We widened out the racetrack a little bit by a few feet, added some banking or took it away. I can't remember right now. It's going to be shifted and worked in here as soon as we get a break in the weather. But either way, Attica clay, Fremont clay, always puts on a show. So what were you going to say, Leon?
It's probably a good time to plug our tickets that are sale for right now for those events that are going to be happening.
The tickets?
Yeah.
Hey, Leon, I need $5,000.
You can get it.
just buy a ticket.
Just buy a ticket.
How do we
Or
get it?
eligible merch at speedway.com/win. I think the giveaway will be over by the time this is out. So just the tickets for select events.
God, you need some training.
How about you say you're the fucking announcer?
Yeah, you're right. Say it again.
Baby
What?
bumpers, what?
All right, Mr. Robbie DeVore.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in winning our $5 Fuel and Fortune Sweet Space.
You said $5.
I said 5,000.
No, you said $5. You said $5.
$5.
It's
Okay,
fine.
well, holy fuck.
You know, if,
All right,
you
we're
know,
ready to cut that.
if racing announcing doesn't work out, you know what you could do? Barrett
Fucking just-
Jackson.
Barry, you know what?
1,000, 1,000, 2,000, 2,000, 3,000.
Have you ever tried that?
No, but I did have an auctioneer teach me what he was saying. What'd you bid? What'd you buy? What'd you give? What'd you bid? What'd you buy? What'd you give? What'd you bid? What'd you buy?
Oh, is that what he? Is that
That's what
they
they're
said?
saying.
No shit.
That's what they're. That's
I
what
was
they're
today
saying.
years old when I learned that. Me
Yeah,
too.
it's awesome. If you would like for a shot to win our 5,000 sweepstakes, go to thespeedway.com/win. Purchase a ticket to one of our 2026 events, or purchase some of our eligible merchandise like this loud and legal barely hoodie from thespeedway.com/win. Act fast because we're only taking names for about 10 more days, and then we're doing the drawing at the end of the month. Thespeedway.com/win.
Cool. Sick.
Anything else? Any other plugs? This is probably the time where we're probably going to be like, oh, it was nice to have you.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, we kind of figured.
Yeah.
Kind of leading up to that, didn't it?
Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to specifically promote for yourself or anything like that you would like me to bring up to you?
You got something?
No, not that I can think of. I mean,
I think we talked about all the sponsors. And
yeah, no, I think we're
Continue
excited to go to the
development.
racetrack and excited to
Rip around here.
yeah, absolutely. I think.
Can we expect to see you on Test and Tune?
When is it?
April 12th.
April 12th.
April 12th.
Is that a Friday, Saturday? What is it?
It's a Sunday.
Is it?
It's a Sunday. We strategically
probably
did that.
Sure, I'm
Probably
sure
be here.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
it
you
is a
can see
Sunday.
us here. We're gonna. I think we're gonna. I mean, as far as I think we want to hit. You know, we don't want to miss any races here. We want to support you guys. So, I know how much this racetrack means to him and his family, and to me. You know, for all you guys have done to bring this place back. You know, it's no secret racetracks aren't just reopening all the time. So, seems like good people from what I understand, and we're going to support you guys as much as we can. And, you know, I think that this place has the potential to be, you know, top facility in not only the state, but the country if you guys keep working the way you guys are working.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and end on that.
Yes, sir.
On a high note. All right, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in and watching today's episode with Ryan Prosser and TJ Michael. This is your Speedway Sessions. Go to thespeedway.com, buy a ticket or one of these hoodies. We'll see you again next time.